Okay, guys. Hey, welcome back, my friends. Man, welcome back to our podcast. Want to send a thank you to everybody who's subscribing. Man, it's going crazy a little bit, but I do want to remind everybody, if you're watching this, please subscribe to this. Please. YouTube, Apple Podcast, and Spotify. Please do that. We'll have something at the end of this, follow up on that too. But good morning, guys. How are y'all?
Good morning.
Yeah. How you doing?
Good morning. Doing good. Thank you for asking.
Yeah. Everybody, I'm Chris Olexa, your host here on this podcast and the CEO and founder of Aspire to Be Hospitality Group. And over here.
Yeah, I'm Kimberly Olexa, CFO of Aspire to Be Hospitality Group.
All right. And Justin
Smith, COO, Aspire to Be Hospitality Group. Unfiltered, unscripted today. I'm ready to roll.
Yeah, you're ready to
roll.
roll.
It's my favorite topic that we've done.
Well, I'm pretty pumped up today. I'm excited about some topics that this came up, and we kind of shuffled this to the top, and we're excited about to announce some stuff. So this podcast is going to be pretty cool for those that are out there that kind of are following us, that really ask us a lot out there. Is like, hey, what's going on in your world? What's happening right now, and how does this all work in building, franchising, or opening new restaurants? So there's some big things happening. The first big thing that happened is we signed a deal to do 3 new sports bars.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Yeah, and
Excited for that.
you signed the official paperwork yesterday that made it official,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. We signed the FDD yesterday for Buffalo Wild Wings Go.
And then we also signed the LOI to get the
Yes.
site going on that store.
Yes, we did. We did.
Yep.
And I think, Justin, you sent that email, said this is a great day for Aspire to Be Hospitality Group. This is a location that we're super excited about, Missouri City. We found a site that was one that we thought was good, and then this site popped up, and we're super excited about that one. So got that paperwork done. Super excited about that. So, but then the next big thing, and this is going to be our topic today. It's signing this deal for our brand new concept. Kind of, we already have one opening, and let's let the cat out of the bag. What is it?
B-Dubs go.
Yeah, Buffalo
Yep.
Wild Wings
Buffalo
Go.
Wild Wings go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Here it goes. Buffalo Wild Wings Go, right here. So they sent us this little trinket package. We got these a while back when we started getting this paperwork done, and we could officially open it today. And it's kind of cool. So I wanted to kind of put this on there. There goes your Buffalo Wild Wings Go hat.
Oh man, I was hoping a shiner would be.
There we go.
Well, the shiner. Yeah, you always love the shiner to celebrate that. So we got our Buffalo Wild Wings Go hat. But
Putting it right on. I love it. We represent. Kim in the kitchen's dangerous. I've seen it happen.
You've seen that happen.
We
Wings,
need
dude.
you in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Let's go.
That's right. But hey, we signed this deal. We've been working on this deal. This is a brand that we're going to discuss a little bit today that a lot of people don't know. Every time we talk to people about what is Buffalo Wild Wings Go, but the exciting part of this company's growth is that we signed a 16-store deal.
Yeah.
And we got to build these how quickly?
5 years.
And B-Dubs is like an underserved brand. Like, you can only build these massive sports bars out there. And we've always, heavy hitter towns. Now we can go into these smaller, mid-sized communities and bring one of the most iconic brands in the country to there. I mean, this is a huge deal. This is bringing Buffalo Wild Wings, and where traditionally people would have to drive 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Getting it delivered right to their house, takeout. It's just a quick, efficient takeout model, and it's nuts.
Yeah, we get to be pioneers. We're super pumped.
Well, it was really cool because this has been in the works for a while with Buffalo Wild Wings from years ago. And people that know this, right? When you go to our sports bars, and people tell me this all the time. They're like, man, Fridays, Saturdays, busy times. Man, it takes too long to get your food. Well, at our big sports bars, it's because we do so much takeout.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember the days when we opened our first Buffalo Wild Wings 18, 19 years ago. I mean, if we were getting takeout, just answering the phone, it was so exciting. It's like, oh, I did $50 in takeout just now. Yeah. But, the numbers that we're driving in this in our restaurant, out the back door is what I call it, is crazy. It's like running 2 businesses in one, a takeout model and a in-store model, right? Mm-hmm. But our new sports bars, Lake Charles being one, Nacogdoches being another, Missouri City will be another. Corporate, we've learned that if you go to these stores, you'll see, and if you go to a new Buffalo Wild Wings, you'll see that the takeout is separated from the store. It's actually kind of in the back side. so you don't, you get involved. If you go to our sports bars and you probably go to your hometown, you'll see you kind of got to go in the front door and kind of go to the right or wherever the left, wherever your side is, and you're kind of mixed in with the people coming in to hang out, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it kind of causes a problem. So we're excited about this because we're growing this brand. And like Kim said, we were pioneers. So a while back, Buffalo Wild Wings decided to grow this besides the corporate stores. And they picked a couple of franchisees. We were one of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have one of the first goes built.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think
did.
the second franchisee to kind of get the store open.
Yes.
And they only picked a couple at first to try this out. So we tried one. It was like a test to see. It's been open how long now?
Yeah. Almost a year.
Almost a year.
We're almost celebrating a year. Yep,
So-
June 22nd.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're super excited. Our man Jake's over there running that in the Houston Spring area, where it's actually in
Magnolia, Texas.
Magnolia, Texas. Super excited about that. So we got to learn from it. We watch it. We watch it on the cameras. We spend a lot of time in there. You come in my office and we stare at the cameras, right?
That's right.
And watch what's happening. You've worked in the kitchen to see how it works. The wings are cooked twice fried. It's a different model. We don't in the operation side, Justin. It's not the full menu either.
No, it's a efficient engine. It's just it's the easiest things that we could possibly cook. It's your wings, your boneless. It's some strategic burgers. It's your fried appetizers. It's 90% of the menu when it really comes down to our sales mix in a traditional sports bar. So you're still getting like the full B-dubs experience. We're just taking out some of the things that are a little bit time consuming and some of the produce in the business. And it's so efficient. It's so quick. And with the twice fried wing process, that's like the ultimate cheat in the chicken wing world. It's a juicier, crispier wing. It's an awesome product. It renders the fat. It sits there. It's so good, the chicken wings that we're producing out of there. But the science of it is now we can get them out in 4 or 5 minutes. And this is more of a quick service restaurant now that makes it so we can do it really, really fast.
So on the ops side, when we talk about why we get so excited about this brand, there's other things in the labor model that makes it really simple.
Well, the model itself, let's throw it out there. Like your average Wingstop does $1.6 million a year in average unit sales. If we could do 1.2 million, and that's kind of the current goal for the Buffalo Wild Wings Go, and you drive anywhere from 15 to 20% profits to the bottom line, this thing's paid off in 2.5 years.
Yeah.
That is the first piece of the financial portion. Your COGS and your labor, your cost of sales is very, very attractive in the 28 to 32% range, your traditional restaurant range. But the labor model is really where it gets interesting, where you have your, if you run a salaried manager or that piece of the business, they're so integrated in the operation. You're running this thing with 2 or 3 people most of the time, and you're doing it in a really efficient way.
Yeah.
It's literally set up that you're a team member. You're trained to do everything in the restaurant at all times. You're constantly helping each other out, and you're just driving product out the door. You're shaking wings. You're cashing people out. It's so efficient. And then the technology, the mobile ordering, the online ordering, so many of our transactions have moved to that space. We can just focus on getting it accurate, hot, and giving it to the guests. So all of that, that adds up to a really interesting and attractive business.
Yeah, it is. And what's cool about it is when you look at this model and you look how it works, I mean, when you're running the store of being efficient and only having a couple employees instead of, you go to Buffalo Wild Wings, heck, we might have 30, 40 employees on shift that day. At a Go, we might have 3. Kim, I'm going to shift to you because I know your answer on this because you've been putting a lot of pressure on this with us. But why do you like the model on your side of it, on the financial side?
So initially, when we started exploring this possibility, for one, it was under the umbrella of Inspire Brands, and so I knew what Inspire touches that normally we were very comfortable with.
Yeah.
So and then they started talking to us about the cost to get into these things, and the cost was really intriguing to me. $500,000 to $700,000 to investment up front was intriguing.
Yeah.
Because we knew Buffalo Wild Wings brands. We've been running that brand for a while now. We knew we could pretty much pioneer it and ace it. We knew how to run it. And so that was the second thing. And the third thing for me was kind of the liquor.
Yeah.
We did not have to have a liquor license. We were not selling liquor, and that was very appealing to me because, especially in Texas and the Texas market being under the dram shop laws, when you're tucked in. If someone comes in your establishment, drinks an alcoholic beverage, and then ends up 6-7 hours later at a club getting wasted and goes out and, God forbid, harm themselves or somebody else. I mean, you're wrapped up, even if they had one beer in your location. So you're kind of wrapped up in that in Texas. Louisiana is not the same, but in Texas it is. But anyway, so the sale of alcohol, the non-sale of alcohol in a Buffalo Wild Wings Go was intriguing to me as an entrepreneur. And so that was just kind of the third thing that topped it off. And that's why I wanted to get into the business.
Yeah, because we saw that recently. We went through a renewal. We go through a renewal every year in insurance. And one of the biggest hot topics is our liquor liability is insurance we carry and how those just keep increasing and keep increasing.
Yeah.
So that was very intriguing.
It's a steep cost for a business to have an alcohol license.
Well, it's cool too because like at this time of the world where we're at, we're kind of downsizing a little bit. We're cutting back a little bit. Interest rates have gone crazy and little things like that. So this kind of came in the perfect time that we can build these stores a lot cheaper than what we're building bigger sports bars for or fast food, Arby's or whatever it might be. Yeah,
and I always have to get a shout out to my Lord Savior Jesus as that. I prayed for a concept without alcohol, and he brought me Starbucks, and he brought me Buffalo Wild Wings Go.
Woo-hoo. Thank you, sir. Yeah. We appreciate that because it is exciting. But one thing we get asked a lot, and you're probably thinking this right now, because we get asked this all the time, leasing agents, whoever, or we're looking at sites, and they're like, what is a Buffalo Wild Wings Go? And what the main thing I always tell everybody, it's a wing stop. Mm-hmm. It's just a wing stop with a Buffalo Wild Wings name.
It's efficient takeout and delivery with the best sauces on the planet, brought to you quickly. You can order it, pick it up at any time you'd like. The engine is very, very fast. The technology's there. It's very, very quick means to get 90% of the Buffalo Wild Wings sports bar menu that we all know and love.
Well, yeah, and two. I'm excited to talk about Buffalo Wild Wings Go, but the most important part about this podcast I'm excited to talk about is just the entrepreneurship of bringing on a new concept.
Yeah.
And maybe, honing in those people out there in the audience of bringing on a new business and what we do as far as entrepreneurs, business leaders, going into a new brand are opening a brand new concept. And so I think I'm excited to get on. Get on topic and
get that.
And let's talk about this. So
well, with this, when you get that, when you're talking about the entrepreneurship, this is something that you always got to keep your mind open because this wasn't talked about 2 years ago.
Right.
And as times changed, it came evolved, and we kept our eyes open. We kept looking. We didn't know this was going to come to us. But it did come to us. So with that, with the mindset of entrepreneurship in this brand, let's get on topic of that and find out what's it take to find that in entrepreneurship.
Yeah. So we've come to the conclusion we're doing Buffalo Wild Wings Go.
Yeah.
We're in it. We've signed with corporate. We've signed up to do the 15-store deal. We're open in 10, but we've signed up for a 15-store deal. And so our next stop is looking for a location, right?
Yeah, so that's what's cool about this because that was some of the parts too. We were getting on the lease part is that when we're getting in these Buffalo Wild Wings sports bars, they're 5,500, 6,500 square feet. Yeah. This little model sits in that 1,000 to 1,400 square feet model. So now we can get in some shopping centers that we can snuggle into and get some better deals on that. And I think that's what it's intriguing about. And we've done our research.
Yeah. Corporate tells us our seed points and we start driving.
Yeah.
Right. So we get in the car with a realtor and he starts bringing us around to all these locations and we just lay our eyes on them.
Yeah.
And so
that's a big piece. Yeah. I mean, you're laying your eyes on them. We're rolling around. We're looking at the rooftops. We're looking at the traffic patterns. We're looking at the demographics of the area. Now we can go into the shopping centers that we've never looked in lines versus end caps. We're trying to get a beat on the price per square foot in the certain markets and how that fits our model. We're also looking at the competitors in the market and if they're A, B, or C players. And then, also we have a lot of information on how Buffalo Wild Wings are performing in some of these markets. So, it's like target Wingstop, but how's the B-dubs do?
Yeah.
And can we find a middle ground to that?
Yeah. And just a simple research. We go and we just sit there. We'll go have lunch at a surrounding area. We'll go observe the dining energy, the lunch energy, the synergy for the location that we're looking at. Mm-hmm. And those are just some really simple things that we bring in as leaders, and that we wrap our minds around.
Well, because
before we settle on us, before we get too involved or too fall in love with a location.
And we're doing this sometimes, 6, 12, 18, even 2 years before we even get to before our team even knows that we're finding a site. You're going around there, hitting the pavement, doing the research, because you don't want to, blow smoke per se to the team who's really excited about growing. So a lot of what you need to do is find a site, but then kind of get to some actual deals before you broadcast that to the, the larger company. And it's tough because all of them are exciting. Everyone we go to, we're like, let's build that. Let's go.
Every time we see one.
So we fall in love at first, but then sometimes Chris gets his heart broke.
It happens a lot. And when we did this, right, let's for example, we did a day drive, right? We drove the whole market and looked at, I think, 16 different seed points at that time to kind of vet out what we really wanted. We took some off the map, added some on the map, and there were some seed points that are identified in this that really shouldn't have been identified. So you got to put your boots on the ground, like you said. Go do your research. Go drive the city, right, and see if you feel it has a spot for you. And I think we did that.
Right, because artificial intelligence is what they're pulling out from, right?
Yeah.
That's how they get these seed points. But it's not always perfect.
They were bubbles.
Put in a human element.
Yeah. See, this goes back to the AI part, right?
Yeah.
The AI does not
plug in humans.
Yeah, does not go to this site and look at it. Because we were like, I remember telling the real estate guy from corporate that we're driving, was like, he said, this is identified as a seed point by the AI computer. I'm like, but there's no cell phone service here. How did it get this intelligence?
It was in the middle of a horse pasture.
Yeah. So
and the AI or the data still required a human to put in the inputs.
Yeah.
So when that site-wise or whatever program that is finding that site, someone made a determination of like Walmart, Wingstop. Those are the factors that I want you to find. Because we went to a couple. It was like one shopping center, a Wingstop, and a Walmart. And we're like, the robot saw that and decided it was a seed point. And it's like, no, you needed to be a couple miles down the road.
Yeah.
Where it's actually happening. The new development's at, the construction. That's where you need to be. So some of them were just a little bit off, where others were like, there's nothing to build.
Nothing.
There's nothing there. And some of them were wonderful opportunities though. So it did get it right, but that human element and going there and vetting out, that you have to put your eyes on it. It's a huge nugget.
Well, let's get to the point on this here too. So now we signed this deal. We're super excited. We got our hats. Got our stuff rolling. We got one store open. We learned a lot. We know a lot. Now we just signed a lease to our second one, and it's going to be in Aldine, Texas, right? And let's go on to budget that. How did we work that? Because one thing I'm super excited about these two teams, this whole team here, but you two, how we work together, because you come into it a different way than others in this business. Like you said, I get excited about things. I look at it, but then we got to get back here and play the numbers. So now we go into the leasing part of it and looking at the numbers, and let's talk about how we get to that point.
Yeah, so we have a business plan that we come up with, and we have estimated sales. And so on that estimated sale, we have a business plan, which we have a conservative side of the business plan, and then we have the wishful thinking side of the business plan.
Yeah.
So we go into lease negotiations, of course, on the conservative side of business plans.
Yeah. And
with that, we hone in on occupancy rates. And the sweet spot for us is it's really 5 to 7%.
Yeah.
But man, lately these landlords have wanted us to hone in on a 10%.
I want to say something. What makes me bad, Justin, you've been on these calls. We've all been on these calls. And these landlords and the leasing agents like, well, what's your projected sales? Because they want to push us. We're like, no, we're here.
10% of your money.
They're like, we're stuck here. So be careful on that, because they'll try to entice you to like they're business people, to try to help you figure it out. No, we know the numbers. We know where we're at. We know our labor costs. We know those costs.
Yeah.
So and we started this with, we're signing, whether it's an LOI or a lease, we're signing. We're taking all the risk.
Yeah.
I'm putting my house up. You're putting your car up. We're the ones signing here. So a conservative model and approach to sales, that's what we accept and we want to build towards. And there's a lot of deals to be made in that approach. The upside goes to the people in the company that took the risk. So sure, we might do 1.2 or 1.5, but we're budgeting 750.
Yeah.
That's the deal we need to make because
right.
I'm signing the lease, not you.
Yeah.
That's right. And another little nugget I want to throw out there for people is that it's just not, when we're on the conservative side of our budget and we're thinking about our occupancy rate, we don't think about just year one.
Yeah.
Because we're in this sucker for usually 10 years. I mean, there's very few landlords out there that are signing a 5-year lease anymore. So we look at that occupancy rate over a 10-year span, and I'll even do it sometimes through my options. It just depends upon the investment. Now, these smaller investments like the Go, I'll look at 10 years.
Yeah.
Bigger investments like our freestanding Buffalo Wild Wings that we invest more upfront on, I'll look through because we want to be there at least 15 plus years. So that's a nugget. Just look at your occupancy rate, and just not in year one, because year one you can be rocking and rolling, right, as far as occupancy goes. But when your lease comes up for renewal, then you might flip your
And you have all
occupancy
the,
rate
you
pretty
know your
fast.
business, so you have all the information that you need to make a determination of what year over year looks like. A broker, an agent, or a landlord might tell you, oh, you need to project every year doing 5 or 3% more in sales. Not in the current environment. I mean, they're not after 3 years of data that just doesn't make sense with COVID and uncertainty. We, as owners of the businesses, we need to go 3 or 4 or 5 years of same store sale increases to re-get that piece of data, to re-feel comfortable with it. So leases right now are flat.
Yeah.
I need to be able to make money in 10 years based on doing 750, not 1.2, because we don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, when you brought that
That's
up,
right.
Justin, you said that we were signing these guarantees, so people know when people, any small business owner or whoever, when you see a business go into a shopping center and they're leasing space, and they sign a 5-10 year lease and they go under after 4. They have to pay out that 6.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like leasing an apartment. You have to pay that out. So when you see a local store person that had to close up, either they wrote it out till the lease was over, or they had to pay it. So that's where you're very conservative with that, because sometimes, and also too, when you go to that 10 years, your lease bumps up. They know you're there, and if you haven't negotiated longer terms, that lease will bump up, and they might say, okay, you're paying this, now it's going to go up 50% in rent. And that's what really scares you, because you think you're being profitable, but now you're not being profitable. Who's being profitable?
Yeah, landlords.
The landlords
yeah,
are.
absolutely. And they're in it to make money, and I get that they wouldn't be in business either if they weren't making money. But usually those bumps are a 10% bump.
Yeah.
I have been able to negotiate 8%, but that's far and few between. But if you're negotiating your leases, I would recommend you trying to go in at 8%, see what you can get. And you always be told no.
And I think why we like Go, though, too, is we've got so much experience in doing exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
Every line in that LOI, every line, even when it goes to underwriting in the lease, we have experience with, and we're challenging, and we're trying to test and take to the limit. So you have to have those things on your team and your skill set as you're in growth mode, especially if you're doing a 16-store deal, because that is a considerable amount of time, and it is once you sign those things, they're done.
Yeah, you're on the hook for those.
You're on the hook.
Yeah.
So we got to build these things out.
and two, I want to say for the LOI, for us, we try to negotiate a lot of stuff up front in our LOIs so that when you go to lease, it's not too time consuming, and you're
Good
not
point.
really negotiating. So if the more you get in your LOI, as far as your timelines for your permitting periods, for when your rent starts, all those things, your subleasing, signage, what you want as far as your architectural build requirements. If you can get all that up front in your LOI, you're cutting half of your negotiation when you go to lease.
Yeah, leasing's pretty seamless. That's a great point. And especially at that point when you're building a store, when you're into lease, there's chances are you're getting quotes, you're getting bids, you're reaching out to architects, and the last thing in the world you want is a 4 or 5 or 6 month holdup because you didn't get that LOI right.
And that's a cool thing about franchises too, is that we don't really have to think tank that, right? Their architects of approval come out with what they need for our space to build out, and that's just an advantage of being a franchisee.
Yeah, you get to share that info.
Good
And
point.
what's cool about that too, so when we do our budgets, guys, to sum this part of it up, is that you got to kind of do a good, better, best, or a low, medium, high, and if you negotiate off the low, right? Because a lot of businesses, I don't care what kind of business you're in, a franchise business, or if you're doing a mom and pop or whatever it is, somebody's going to say, well, I can do $2 million. And somebody says, well, I could do 1.7. And another one says, well, I only do 1.5. I would negotiate off the lowest point of that, because then when you get into a situation, you're not doing the volume you think you were going to do, you're still not in trouble. You're still upside down. And that's one thing you do very well. When we go in there, we go in and start negotiate off the lowest point of it too. So
because that's where you start negotiation, right?
Yeah.
You may not end up there.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you have to end up in the midpoint, which you're talking about.
Yeah.
But at least you started at your lowest point.
And control that. Don't let your leasing agents or your landlords, because sometimes landlords don't understand this is a two-way street, right? For me to be successful, you have to be successful, and vice versa, back and forth.
That's right.
And
Landlords and brokers, they're trained professionals at negotiating.
Yeah.
And we are not always in that space, and you might not be either, but you never split the difference.
Yeah.
So always come in with your
Great
lowest,
point.
always come in with your template, and come in with your terms and be confident in them. And sometimes that means you have to wait and sit on something.
That's right.
So we've signed this now. Now we have a budget, right? And we got all kind of numbers. We have what corporate told us we were going to spend on this. That means equipment, build out, signage, computers, all kind of stuff. Yep. And then you kind of do your own study too. And we kind of randomly, talk to other franchisees that might have built one of these. My phone rings off the wall on this Buffalo Wild Wings Go. Everybody wants to in. And everybody wants to know about it. So when you go in that, y'all set this tight budget. And then now we sit out for bids, right? It's out for bids, and we're getting the bids in. And now we're critiquing the crap out of those.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're trying to shave off as much as we can. We don't want to be frivolous during this time. And we want to get into what corporate said we should be able to build these things for.
Yeah.
Be as aggressive as you can with the budget. Our goal is to beat the budget. Our goal is to put multiple quotes and bids out there. We've got approved vendors that we can, choose from. We want them playing against each other. They want our business, and be responsible on every single line. So make sure you have time associated with putting things out for bid and getting the lowest price possible to build it, with, the ultimate caveat being that nothing can impact the guest. So if I'm getting big cloud from my front of house, I don't mind who produces it and procures it, but one might be coming from Seattle and one might be coming from San Antonio, and the difference might just be a couple grand in shipping. And that's a huge deal.
You brought that up. We just had a bid come in, and it was for the art package with these signs we have to hang on the thing. And I think the total bid was like $5,000. And I looked at it, $1,000 for shipping. So I thought, man, I'm getting in my Suburban.
Yeah,
I'm driving.
Pick that sucker up.
But then I looked at it, it was like in Wisconsin. I was like, maybe not.
I got some family in Wisconsin. Maybe maybe they make a trip to Texas. Yeah, we'll meet them halfway.
But that's the whole part is sticking on budget with that. And that's in any business you do. It's like building a house. You got to stay on budget. If you go over budget, you normally got to pay out of pocket for that.
That's a huge deal. You're getting a loan. You're making pay. You're already injecting probably either 20 or 30% into your business. Anything left over, don't take for granted your little honeymoon sales are going to pay that off. You're going to be having to put in extra money in there.
Yeah.
Cutting checks.
Well, so that's where we're at now. We're waiting for the bids to come in, and we're excited about it. They just started rolling in.
It is, because this is where ops is getting amped. Like, it's almost time for us to get in the game. So, this is where it gets really fun.
And this is where kind of Kim starts to kind of hand it off to say, okay, here it is.
Yeah,
now,
this is where I get to breathe.
Now, Chris, take over construction, oversees construction. Justin, you oversee that part. And then now you'll move to store 2 or store 3, because we got store 3 and 4 actually working. I think we're going on a tour here in a week and a half to go see a great site, and one that we're going to try to see if it can fit in there. It's a smaller footprint, see if it fits. So it's a step. You got to keep working, and you pass the ball to each other, but you have to trust each other that you follow the budgets and what we're putting out. But, this got me on this too, guys, that at this point, there used to be a show I used to watch a long, long time ago. And, it's a reality show, and it's called The Restaurant.
Yeah.
And I used to get excited about that because back in the day, it was 20 years ago, before I ever built my first. And I got the guy that's from New York. I can't remember his name. He was building a restaurant. It showed the day in the life of building it, opening it, and running it. So I think that I think that's where we should go. I would love to see us, when we get this thing rolling, maybe pack the stuff up like we did in Florida, and let's move to the site and shoot an episode there actually during construction.
So we've got to the point where we're getting ready to build this thing. You're talking about going in a restaurant, construction zone, and let's walk everybody through day 1 to day 120 of building this sucker.
Take some videos
That's
and
super
then
cool.
we'll actually go in the store and do a podcast.
Yeah,
shoot
that'd
it
be
in there.
cool.
Construction guys walk behind me, and we might shoot some live shot or some shots that we can post up that where we're actually watching them build something and have a problem, because we know there's always a problem. Hey, sir, this hot water heater is not going to fit right here.
Yeah,
we had that last time. So that would be cool,
great.
wouldn't it be?
Oh yeah, I think that's really cool. I think there's a lot to learn and through the construction process. As far as my side goes, financial side is just recording all the assets and everything like that. I'd be more than willing to walk people.
We
through
might have
that.
to do it a couple steps too during the training process.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool how they do the bringing the staff in for the first time training. Corporate will have their people there. Our trainers will be there. It's really cool to be part of that. And then we got to definitely do the grand opening.
Oh yeah,
That would be
funnest
awesome.
part.
We'd love to
a
share
full
that with y'all.
episode on the grand opening. Open this sucker up and let's talk about how much we make.
Yeah.
We can go through top to bottom of exactly what that looks like and give everybody a little snapshot and some insights to, what you're making out of a Buffalo Go.
Well, I'm gonna challenge your op side. I'm gonna see you cooking them twice fried rings.
Yeah,
And I've seen you spin, so you can definitely spin.
I'll spin some wings.
I'll get out there and hold the door for people and give high fives and come on in, let's go, let's roll.
Let's roll.
So no, that's going to be an awesome. So I'm excited about that because that's what people really want to see. How in the day of life this really works as an entrepreneur and and things. So it's going to be really cool of us to build this Go, to Buffalo Wild Wings Go, to build it out, to see it work, operate, and training. So it's cool.
The magnitude here that we're talking, and I just to wrap it up for me, is like $20 million in revenue, 250 plus to 300 jobs. And if you add on the sports bars, that's over 500 jobs.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking multi-unit leaders. So if you're an entrepreneur and you're in growth mode, this is just a $8 to $10 million, piece of debt that you may be taking on. But over the next 5 years, it doubles the size of our company. So, I'm just so blessed and excited. I wanted to throw those numbers out because that's what we're talking here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are huge numbers. Those are huge amount of jobs in a bear market where people aren't growing and exploding and just
What's happening.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Shout out to God. Thank you, Lord.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, hey, finishing up here, it's a great weekend coming up. It's Memorial Weekend.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's when we sit back and really thank the men and women that fought for our country, right?
Thank you so much.
And
Yes.
thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for what you do. I don't think you get near the props that you should get.
They
And I don't think you get near the benefits you should get. And I think you should be held up to the highest honor for what you've done.
Yes.
And I kind of get tears in my eyes here a little bit because I think go back and truly if people in America really think that we're in the God's greatest country in the world, and it was given to, and people died for this, right?
Yes.
So
Ultimate sacrifice.
For our freedom.
as I enjoy my family this weekend, and we're going to get away and head to the beach, and I promise you, when I lay my head on the bed and make my prayer that night, and I will be praying for you and your families and all the future guys out there. And I got some young kids that I coached in Little League that are going out to the Navy. They're going to the Marines. Shout out to you guys because, man, hats off to you because we couldn't be here in a free country without you guys. So we're going to be celebrating that, right? It's going to be fun. We're going to have that. So this is my curveball question, right? We're going to be on the beach somewhere. Lake, wherever. Some people have to work, unfortunately, but the world's got to keep moving.
Yeah.
And we'll still be working. Believe me, my phone's going to be ringing like crazy. You're going to be answering emails. But, we're going to be enjoying some cold beverages, too. So this is our curveball question. I know you're looking at me like, oh, what's going on here, Justin? This is going to be great. So I did this. Hold on one second.
What is going on?
Yeah. This wasn't my lunch kit, guys. So
Are we starting Memorial Day early?
Yes, we are.
Bring it on.
But just for Kimberly. You don't even know
Okay.
what's going on. So Kimberly loves, we all know she brings it up all the time, Shiner. So I thought this.
Oh, yeah. Are
Yeah.
you giving me a shiner?
Well,
Can
I'm
I crack a top right here on the podcast?
I'm going to give.
Ooh.
What? 3 shiners?
4 shiners. Are we
What
going
is this?
4 shiners?
Sorority days?
Yeah. So these are 4 different beers. I want you to tell me if you taste all these and you pick the Shiner out.
What?
Ooh,
Yeah,
as long as
so-
I've known Kim, Shiner has been the #1 brewski.
You're putting
You
pressure
order
on me.
that every time
Yeah.
we're out. If you're getting a
Yeah,
beer,
we
it's
actu-
a Shiner. Can you pick it out?
We actually went to Buffalo Wild Wings the other day because she's like, I need a Shiner. And we got to try the two new sauces out too. So I'm going to put these in front of you. I want you to taste them. Don't stare at the cans because the lids are covered, the edge are covered, but you can kind of look inside, maybe
Okay.
pick out the colors. So I want you to taste each one of these and tell me if you can
All right.
tell me which one Shiner is.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Beer
There's
number
your first-
one.
Beer's number one. There you go.
Oh, this is one.
It's
All right,
the
beer,
one.
beer number one. Let's see. You expect a smile if it's a Shiner. That could potentially be Shiner. Nope,
Definitely
it's
not
not.
Shiner.
It's definitely not Shiner.
This is funny.
Let's see. Is this a Shiner? Potentially. Nope.
No.
You're stone-faced on these. You're going to...
One of them you made like a nasty.
I'm trying to get a
face.
read if you know. All right, okay.
One of
little
them-
smirk.
yeah.
That's the Shiner right there.
I'm anxious to see. One of them she made a nasty face.
That first one. I don't think she liked that first one. Oh, we're torn.
Uh-oh.
We're torn.
Uh-oh.
No, it's just like a. I think from those two, it's still in my mouth.
Oh, really? Oh.
Let me taste my coffee.
No, come on.
Clear that
man.
palate.
Yeah, come
we
on.
we
gotta
got to
pick.
get this right. Either that or she's identified the Shiner and she's like, I'm drinking this whole thing.
It's probably what she's doing here. But again, hey, that's what we're going to be doing, drinking some cold
Shiner.
Shiner.
That's the Shiner.
Is it?
I don't know. We didn't mark it because I didn't want you to know. So let's see here. Oh, it's going to be hard to get this off now.
Were you contemplating those two?
I was contemplating this one. Yeah.
That's it. That's the Shiner.
That's the Shiner.
She picked the
I
Shiner.
know my beer.
Yeah,
There
she
you
picked
go.
the Shiner.
No, can I finish it?
Yeah, you can. So the other one that you were really close with, I'm pretty sure, because
Wait, is it a Yingling?
no, Yingling is in here. It is in here. It's the Crawford Bock.
Oh,
Really?
Crawford,
Yeah.
good local beer,
Yeah.
local brewery out of
Yeah,
Houston. Shout out to
yeah.
them.
Shout out to Crawford Bock.
Yeah.
You know, our koozie
You
would
know, I
fit
never
on.
give them a chance because I always love my Shiner, but
Now you got a backup.
Yeah.
You go to a ball game.
and they don't have my Shiner. I might consider that one because I was like, wait a minute, it's kind of familiar. But
Yeah.
Were
we
there
had
any that
before.
were like,
Nothing
no
beats
way,
the
Jose?
Shiner.
Yeah, was there anyone that was like just blew your mind away?
Oh, these two.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no.
Well,
What'd you
one was
put
a
in there?
Yingling, and
Okay.
you always
Or
used to.
Yingling.
Yeah, I know you love Yingling when we
I
go places, but you
know.
were all set up on Shiner too.
Yeah.
So, but hey, so Shiner, if you want to come sponsor this
Did
girl,
I impress y'all?
You did. I knew you. I get in trouble too because when we go out,
I couldn't tell. I was watching. You didn't wear it on your sleeve. I was looking for like a smirk or like, this is the one.
Well, I always order a Michelob Ultra, and she'll order the Shiner, and then when they bring it to my table, they put the Shiner in front of me and put the Ultra in front of her, thinking, yeah, I'm the wussy. I drink this. She drinks the darker beer.
Yeah.
So it was really cool. But hey, we are going to be enjoying our weekend and Memorial
Yes.
Weekend. So hats off to you guys, and thank you for all you do. And this Shiner's for you. If you're anywhere, if I'm anywhere,
Yeah,
and I
the
see
Shiner's
me,
for you.
if you're in the military, I definitely would buy you a beer in a heartbeat.
Thank
but
you.
hey,
Yes.
I do want to throw something, since it is Memorial Weekend, I want to challenge everybody because I'm proud of America. I'm proud of my flag. I'm proud of everything we got going on here. And so I want to challenge this, people. So if you'll go on, this podcast will post Tuesday, and we'll be at the beach that weekend coming up. And then what I want you to do is if you'll go to any of our places, any of our Spotify, Apple, anywhere, and become a scriber, and make a comment on there with the American flag and a thumbs up, I'm going to pick one of you guys, maybe a couple, and I'm going to send you a $100 gift card to Buffalo Wild Wings so you can add it on to your weekend, because there's nothing better than a weekend with your family, enjoying your friends, enjoying the true meaning of Memorial Day, of drinking a cold beer,
Shiner.
and some wings.
Yeah.
Some chicken. That's all American right there. I tell you
Yeah.
what. So if you do that, go send it. I want to see American flag on the comments and thumbs up. And
Yeah.
we're going to pick one of those guys. Our guys in the back of the house will pick somebody, maybe one or two or three. I don't know.
Apple, Spotify, go to YouTube. That's an easy one. Leave a comment.
YouTube.
Cool.
We would love you to go to YouTube. Go on YouTube. Make that happen. Subscribe and like it, and make a like, and then make a comment with the American flag and thumbs up. Right.
Yeah.
And we're going to pick one of you guys out there and send that to you. So
Getting some wings and some beer.
nothing better than that on a Memorial Weekend.
Free
But
wings, free beer coming at you.
Good
Yeah.
job today. Great topic today.
God
Hey,
bless
we
the
will.
USA.
Yeah, we will, and we'll be following you. We'll be posting this up coming up. You're going to be following us building this restaurant out. So we're
Yeah.
excited
Buffalo
about
Wild Wings go.
Yeah.
Come
That's
along
what,
for
I'm
the
more
ride.
excited about this.
Construction.
This
16 stores, 5 years, 250 jobs, $20 million. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
we got a lot of work to do, guys. A lot of
Yeah.
work. So,
Yeah.
but hey, thanks you for watching, guys, and enjoy your weekend, man.
Yeah.